Hey guys, Talon2863 here with an AFK Mob Farm tutorial. Check it out. It's a lot of mobs. You want to know why there's so many? It's because of this flat floor design. Rather than, you know how some mob farms are like stacked up and they're like kind of cramped in space. You know, you're limited to the space that water will push the mobs. Well, with this one, you can make, see those pumpkins? That can be as big as you have the materials for. So you can, I mean, it could be however big you want. And the great thing is, the bigger you make it, the more mob spawning is going to happen. Because, here, let me just go back into creative mode. Because the mobs only spawn when I'm in creative mode. They don't do it when I'm in spectator mode. So I have to go up here, go to creative mode to let them spawn, and then go back into spectator mode to see them. Whoa. Wow. That's more than I expected to spawn that quick. But there you go. You can see it. And I tested it. You get about an average of a stack of items per 20 minutes, which is pretty good. And like I said, that's an average, so it depends on what kind of mobs you're getting. So let's say you get all skeletons, then all your drops are going to be bones and arrows. But if you're getting a variety of stuff, which is what's probably going to happen, then you're going to get about a stack of each of their drops per 20 minutes, which is it's pretty nice for just sitting around doing nothing. So I should point out this design is actually modular. So you see how it's like identical? There's like one section and then two sections and then three sections, and they're all kind of identical and they do the same thing. Well, that's what I mean when you can, when I say you can expand it to be however big you want. You can just add however many modules you want. It's pretty nice. So let's check out the supplies you'd need to do this. These are the supplies you'd need, and the number for the pumpkins and the blocks of quartz and the quartz slabs, that's not an exact number. It depends on how big you're making it. So and there's actually, and the blocks, these things, those can be whatever you want as long as it's a block and a slab. And the pumpkins can actually be a couple different things, and I'll explain that in a little bit, so don't worry about that. But this is all the stuff you need for a single module, and then if you want to add another module, this is what you need. And again, these are not exact, so it depends on how big you're making the floor and stuff. But the obsidian and the sticky piston slime blocks and all that stuff, that is exact. So now that you know that, we can get onto the building. Alright, first things first, you want to make a kind of a pit like this. And the floor size doesn't matter. Like I mentioned before, this design can basically be however big you want it to be, which I think is pretty awesome. And it's expandable, you know, however big you want it. So, you know, if you only have the supplies for like one section, you can just make a single section, and then if you get more supplies, you can just expand it. So it's kind of nice that way. Now, when you're trying to figure out like what floor size you should make it, there's a couple things you should keep in mind. Number one, it needs to be a rectangle. If you make it like a circle or something, it's not gonna work. And rectangles, I mean, that's like the whole point of Minecraft anyway, so don't go making a circle. Number two, you should probably have a short side and a long side, and the reason is because any blocks we add this way on the short side, you're going to need more supplies the more blocks you add this way. However, the more blocks you add this way, you're not going to need more supplies other than just the floor stuff. So you're not going to need more sweeper arms, you're not going to need more redstone, you're not going to need more anything if you expand it this way. So it's kind of more efficient to just have like a short side and then a long side. And so you still have a lot of spawning spaces for the pack spawns, but you don't have to spend as much of your materials. So you see, this is the floor is made entirely out of pumpkins. Ignore the dirt on the side for the moment. That's where we'll be working with the redstone and stuff. So the pumpkin is the floor, the spawning floor. Excuse me. And the pumpkins can actually be a couple of different things, or more than a couple actually. The pumpkins, anywhere you see me putting pumpkins, you can put jack-o'-lanterns, you can put watermelon, obsidian, you can put any of this other stuff. And anywhere you see me placing obsidian, you can put this stuff. Because obsidian, if you, well, let me show you. If you have a sticky piston and a slime block and you power the sticky piston, you notice it doesn't push it. And the same thing goes if you have, or a similar thing goes, if you have this slime block on top of it and you power it, it won't move the floor. So that's why we're making it out of those specific supplies. So you see, if same thing, if push a slime block over a pumpkin, the pumpkin does not get stuck to the slime block. However, if you push a pumpkin, boom, turns into an item. So you don't really want to design it that way, or you don't want to put pumpkins where you see me placing obsidian, basically. But where I place pumpkins, it can be any of these other things. I recommend, though, not using these three. I just put these there just so that you know you could use them, but you probably shouldn't, because these contain information. You know, whatever items are in there, or even if there aren't any items, they still contain information. Because it's like slot information and stuff like that. So if you put very many of those, like let's say you made the floor entirely out of furnaces, it's gonna lag your machine out. So really don't recommend it. So let's get started with building the actual sweeper arm. To start off, you want to place a regular block, and this block needs to be able to be pushed by a sticky piston, because we're going to be placing 6 slime blocks right next to it. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we'll put another block like that. And the reason that those blocks need to be able to be pushed by sticky pistons is because that means that slime blocks will stick to them. So if this gets pushed along the floor, these 2 blocks are going to stick with it. And the reason you need those caps, I guess you could just call them, is because we'll be making more of these things along the short side. So like we'd make another one, 6, see, we'd make another one there, another 6 slime blocks, and then we make another one, and it's just so that they don't stick to each other. So once you've done that, you count 3 slime blocks, 1, 2, 3, and then on the 4th one, you put another slime block up like that. So it's like an upside down T. And then you put one more on top of that. Now what you want to do is you want to put a piston facing into it on this side, and you want the piston to be facing towards the long side like that. And then you want to put another piston facing back into it. So see, they're both facing into each other, and then you have that slime block there. So this is one of the sweeper arms. This is the thing that's actually pushing the mobs. So next, what you want to do is you need a way to stop this, because this is actually an infinite flying machine, or it will be when we're done with it. Voice crack. So you need to put an obsidian block here, and like I said, the obsidian block can be any of those other things that you want. Actually, put the obsidian block here. So like if you're counting, it would be 1, 2, 3 slime blocks, and then you put it right behind it, like that. So this will stop this thing when it's coming towards this way, and then we'll put another one over there in a minute. But count 10 blocks back from this obsidian block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then place a block there and a block there, and then put an obsidian block on top of those two. So you have an obsidian block 3 blocks up like that. Next, what you're going to want to do is find this obsidian block and then go to the other side of the spawning platform, making sure that you stay within your row. So don't go over to that row or that row. Just stay in it, in the row. And then you put an obsidian block at the very end, just like we had there, and you can see that it kind of lines up like right there. Woo! See, lines up. And then you do the same thing. You count 10 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put a block, another block, and then an obsidian block there. So now that way, when the sweeper arm comes this way, it will get stopped, and then these obsidian blocks are for the flying machines that will be pushing these. So we'll make the flying machines now. It's pretty simple. You just count out 2 blocks of space, so there's 2 blocks there like that. Then put a piston facing away from the sweeper. Then you want to put a sticky piston, like one block forward and 1 to the side, like we're doing here. And the sticky piston should be in line with that obsidian block. Then you're going to want to put 2 slime blocks like this. And now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put a piston here like that, so 1 block out, and then a sticky piston like that. So it's almost like a mirror of that, except for they're right next to each other. And then behind these, you're going to want to put alternating pistons. And what I mean by that is, see how this is a sticky piston? You want to put a regular piston there. So you have a piston and a sticky piston. Same thing over here. You have a piston, so you're going to want to put a sticky piston there. And you have a sticky piston here, you can see. So you want to put a piston there, and this piston should line up with the obsidian block you placed. If it didn't, move the obsidian block so it does. And then you're going to want to put a sticky piston there. So see, piston, sticky piston. So see how kind of that works? So it's like a checkerboard: piston, sticky piston, piston, sticky piston. So that's one of the flying machines already done. Super simple. Really, the hardest part of this thing is going to be making the floor and placing all those blocks. The rest of it's just like easy peasy. So now you want to make the second flying machine for this sweeper arm. So to do that, you put a piston backed right up to the sweeper arm. That's what this is, the sweeper arm. And then you put a sticky piston next to it, so it's almost like we're mirroring that, but not quite. Then you want to put 2 slime blocks and do the same thing, alternate it. So that's a sticky piston, so we're going to want a regular piston here. And that's a piston, so we're going to want a sticky piston here. And this is a sticky piston, we know, because we just placed it. So that needs to be a piston. That needs to be a sticky piston. This needs to be a piston. Woo. And this needs to be a sticky piston. Although this piston needs to actually be 1 block out like that, because the flying machine won't really work otherwise. That's why there's that extra space there. Because pistons have a 12 block pushing limit. So see, if this block pushes the contraption this way, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then there's going to be 2 redstone blocks, so that's 11 and 12. So if this piston was right there, it wouldn't be able to push it. That's why you needed out 1. So now that we've made the 2 flying machines for this sweeper arm, we need to make, I guess, the stations, so to speak. And you might notice that this is really similar to the flying machines that Doc M77 made, and that's because these, like this flying machine and this flying machine, those are actually the exact same design. We're just putting them to use in a different fashion than normal. And there's a link in the description if you want to go check out how we did that, because these are kind of fun if you want to just build them in your survival world or whatever and fly around. It's kind of fun. So to build the stations for them though, and the stations are what make them go different directions. So like if this flying machine came from that way and it comes and it stops here, then when you activate these pistons, it'll go that way, which is exactly what we want. So you put 2 pistons like this facing towards these slime blocks like that, and you want them one out from the flying machine, and then you put a sticky piston right here, right next to that piston, place a block, and then you want to make kind of an L with just any old blocks like that. See, that's like an L. Then you want to place 4 redstone, which lines up precisely with these 2 regular pistons. You want to put a repeater on 4 ticks right next to the sticky piston, and then you want to put some redstone dust so that this sticky piston activates 4 ticks after the regular pistons, because these regular pistons will push the redstone blocks to the other side so that the other side can update, and then this will actually update the whole thing, because that's what a flying machine is a block update detector. And you'll see it in action later, so don't worry if it's kind of confusing right now. So now we go over to this other flying machine, and we do a similar thing. We put sticky pistons this time facing towards these slime blocks, and then we're going to put a piston right here. And the reason for that is because if we power it, it'll update this block right here, which is exactly what we want. So now you place some blocks, kind of like a rocket ship, I guess, and then you put 4 redstone, just like we did before, so it lines up exactly with the 2 sticky pistons. And then you put a repeater here on 4 ticks and some redstone dust there. And make sure you have this block here, because when this repeater will power this block, which powers this piston, which powers that redstone dust, which will power this piston 4 ticks after the sticky pistons go. So now if you've made that and you have those 2 obsidian blocks in place, we can place the redstone blocks. And we wanted to place them last because now the flying machine is active right now. So if we put a redstone block here, it's gonna go. See, off it goes. And while you're building it, if you had the redstone blocks there, it would be really annoying to build. That's why you put the redstone blocks last. Really important. So now you put a redstone block here. So now the sweeper arm is active. And then you want to put 2 redstone blocks here and here. And so what that's going to do, if we power this, ta-da, is it's going to push the sweeper arm. And let's say that I was a mob. I just get pushed that way. And it's important to note that mobs aren't really going to jump over this sweeper arm, because see how you get flung back like that? Well, their AI doesn't really update in time to calculate this as a solid surface to jump on like that. So they'll just stay right there. The only way a mob can get over it really is if a spider is already running, and then it can just climb over. But then when this thing goes back, it will take out the spider, so that's not really a big deal. So now what you want to do is you want to mirror those stations over on this side. So we had a sticky piston one on the outside, I guess you could call it. So we're putting a sticky piston one here. So same thing, you have the sticky pistons lined up with the the slime blocks, and you can see why we're putting them there. It's to bring the redstone blocks back and update the deal. Excuse me, my throat's a little bit dry. Lots of talking. So then you have this piston here, and that'll update that when it's ready to go. You make the same little rocket ship design. Put the 4 redstone dust, the 4 tick repeater, and then the final bit of redstone dust. And then that station's finished. Now before you make this station, you're going to want to get rid of that redstone block temporarily. And the reason, and actually you might as well get rid of that one too. The reason is because if you put the piston there, it'll be kind of annoying because it'll be, if you place it the wrong direction, it'll be turning on and off and updating things, and it's kind of annoying. And then this redstone block, when you put the sticky piston there and then the block here, it'll actually update it and it will start doing stuff, and you really don't want that. So once you've got the sticky piston and the block in place, you can put the redstone blocks back on, and then you do the same thing that we did over there. Make an L, and then 4 redstone dust, 4 tick repeater, and then the last little bit of redstone to power the final deal. And now if we did this properly, we should be able to, yep, that flying machine goes back that way. And then if we power this one, that flying machine pushes the sweeper arm this way. So we know that we're doing it right. It's kind of fun to ride these things. Whee! So you're going to want to clone these along the short side, basically. So like I was showing you before, you know, you'll have this sweeper arm there, and you'll have another one here, and so on and so forth. And you just copy all of this. There's nothing special you have to do. You just copy all of it. And for tutorial's sake, I'll just do this. So it's already cloned for me. And as you can see, you have the sweeper arms, and you have the stations, and you have the important obsidian blocks. Same thing on the other side. Now you notice there's a wall here, and that's because when this is all said and done, there's going to be a pit here, and that's where the mobs fall. But you need something to push the mobs against so they fall in the hole, because otherwise, when the thing's pushing them, they'll just like skip across the gap, pretty much, and you don't want that. So you need this wall. Now you can make it out of pumpkins, jack-o'-lanterns, watermelon, you know, all those things. And you can actually make the wall, and this is the only place you can do this, but you can actually replace this wall with leaves too if you want. It's probably better not to though, just because there's less glitchiness of mobs like glitching through the leaves. So it's better to just do the pumpkins. And you want to make the wall too high with pumpkins, and then you want to make kind of a U shape for the third part. So see how you have this too high wall, and don't get rid of the obsidian blocks though. You need those. And then you make kind of this U, and that's so that the flying machine can go through. Oh, whoops. You make a U, but you put it over here. It needs to be in line with the flying machines is the point, see? So that way the flying machine can go right through here and on that way. And then as far as the rest of it goes, you can just, you know, put a wall. Well, actually, make sure that that's like that. Just, you know, put other random blocks there. And actually, I suppose too, you can you can put regular blocks there too. The only place that you actually need the pumpkins is the bottom row, and then this kind of this U shape, like, see, kind of like that. That's the only place you really need the pumpkins, is the bottom row and then there. Or the leaves, I guess, if you decide to do that. And you really only need a 3 high wall, but if you want to make it higher, then make sure to include a 2x2 hole for the flying machine. See? Like that. So just make sure and do that if you're building up the wall more. So now we can get started on the redstone. So the first thing you're going to want to do is simply put a sticky piston right above that redstone block, and then a block on the outside of the sticky piston. Then you want to put a repeater here like this, and then you need some way of continuously powering that repeater. So I'm just going to use a redstone block. You can put a torch, a lever, whatever else you want. So what this is going to do is, if you put a little bit of redstone dust there, then when this isn't in the station, this flying machine isn't in the station, it won't power this redstone dust. But when it is, this redstone dust will be powered. So if we go make an identical one of those over on the other side, although actually this one you can use a redstone block, that one you can't, because it will mess up the flying machine, but this one you can use a redstone block, and then you just take power out of it with a repeater on full delay. Simple as that. And so now we have this kind of, we can make an AND gate. Oh, here. Put 3 repeaters here on full delay. And then what you can do is put a block in front of that repeater, a block in front of this repeater, and then a torch on it. And you'll notice they're both unpowered. And you put redstone dust like that, and finally a torch right there. And so that's your AND gate. Now if you notice, if we break this, that's off. See? So this torch is only going to be on when both of the flying machines are in their proper stations. So now that we've made that, what we want to do is hook up a dropper latch clock to it. And you're probably like, what? Are you speaking gibberish or something? Well, no, I'm actually not speaking gibberish. Dropper latch clock is basically just a clock that you can extend the interval depending on how many items you put in it. So the way to do it is you just put a dropper right next to that torch facing this way. Put a hopper going into it. So see if that gets powered, then we'll put an item in there, and then this will just put the item right back. It's kind of a clock sort of a thing. Then you want to put a comparator coming out of the dispenser, and a repeater, and now you want to put 1 item in the dropper. That's all you need. Don't put any more than that. I think that will actually mess it up too. Now you just put a block and a torch like this. Then you want to put 2 hoppers facing into each other next to that block and torch. So see how this is facing this way? We want to put a hopper facing into that one, so they're both facing into each other. Then we want to put a comparator here, redstone repeater here on 3 ticks like that. And now, oh, one final thing. Put a comparator right there. So this is the output signal. The way you decide the interval, though, is you go into this middle hopper, and you can put however many items you want in it. I've found that about 32 to 64 seems to work pretty well. Once you've done that, that's the dropper latch clock right there. Now we're going to connect it to the all of these things. So to do that, you just put a block right next to the comparator, and a torch on it. And normally you would put redstone dust here. We're actually not in this case, and the reason is because we don't want the whole contraption to trigger just yet. Because if you put redstone dust here, then it's going to trigger when you go ahead and build it. So you want a sticky piston there, block there, and then you want redstone repeater on 3 ticks of delay coming out of it. Now you want to put a block here with some redstone dust on it, block here, and a block here. So you see what this makes happen is if you have redstone dust there and there, and let's power. Oh, whoop. Can't really see it because of how fast it is. Ready? See, they both get powered. So that's what's going on there. Although actually we'll change this to a repeater on full delay. So we're going to need 7 or 6 more repeaters, so you'll have 7 on this bottom row in total. So there's 1, 2, full delay, each one of them, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just like that. And as for this top row, just need a oh well, let's not do the top row yet. So what's going on here is this bottom row is going to connect to all of these stations. So that one, and this one, and then the top row is going to connect to that station, and that one. That's what's going on here. So if you just get some redstone going along here, this will connect it. Now you actually want a repeater right here, offshooting that. Then you want to just basically do the same exact thing. So same deal, repeater there. And a repeater there, like so. Now, why are you putting these repeaters here? You might be wondering. You're like, well, look, if you count the redstone dust, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it reaches all these things. So why do you need a repeater there? Well, that's a good question. Oh, I'm gonna need some more space here. The purpose of that is, so that you can accurately time all of the devices so that they all trigger at the same time. And the way that you time them accurately is you just however many modules are after this one, that's how many ticks you add to this. So after this one there's 1, 2, so that means we need to add 2 ticks to this repeater. 1, 2, so now it's at 3. And then for this one there's only 1 module after it, so we just need to add 1 tick, and this one there's only 1, so we don't have to add anything. So now these will all trigger at the same time. Now what you're going to want to do is we'll work with this top row here. So you want to extend the slabs out this way, and I suppose you could make these blocks if you wanted to, but there's not really any reason. So you just extend it all the way out here until we get to right there. So 2 blocks out and 1 block up from right before the repeater. So, and we have the same style of thing right here, like this. This is the repeater that we'll use to time it exactly. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. dust, and then you have a repeater on top like that. You're going to have a repeater on top of here too, set to 3 ticks. Excuse me. And then you just copy this deal to the other stations. And you always know when to bring it out, because see where this comes out, you bring this out 1 over, like that. Same deal, 2 out like that, and 1 up. And make sure that this last one is a block, because otherwise it won't power downwards. And then make sure you have a repeater, redstone dust all the way back here until before the intersection. Then you put the repeater there. And then we do the same thing one final time, like this. And actually, I think this, yeah, it needs to come out 1 more. Okay, where's the deal? Here it is. And there we go. So repeater right before this little drop down thing. Put some redstone dust there. Redstone dust all the way back here. Repeater right before that little intersection. And redstone dust the rest of the way. And we time this precisely just the same way as we did before. So if we go to this repeater, we count how many modules there are after it. There's 1, 2. So we go 1, 2. And then after this one, there's only 1. So we just go 1. And after this one, in the redstone line, there's nothing. So we don't have to add any ticks. But we still keep the repeater there. That's important to note. So that's all the redstone for this side. All we would have to do to make this go is just stick the redstone right there. But we don't want to do that quite yet. And the reason is because we need to make a similar thing on the other side, except for without the dropper latch. Without the dropper latch clock. So the way we'll do that is I'm going to put a piston 2 out like this. Then you're going to put a redstone block there. And we're just making the exact same thing that we did over there. It's an AND gate. Make sure that this is on full delay and it's out 1, because when this is on, that's when we want this to be on. So now you put a block there, torch there, blocks all along the bottom here. Oops. And then over here, you're going to want a sticky piston right above there. Regular block here. You want some way to constantly power it right there. Excuse me again. A repeater right there, and then some redstone dust here. 3 more repeaters. 1, 2, 3. Oops. On full delay, and a torch connected to that block. Then you just put some redstone dust just like that. Put a torch right there, and then you do the same thing that we did on the other side, just without the dropper latch extender. So we can just go straight to that 1 tick pulser, which is that's the thing with the sticky piston. And make sure that after the sticky piston you have a repeater on 3 ticks, and then you just connect it up like you would normally. So I'm going to go do that, and then we can move on to the next part. So when you're done with that, oh, actually, excuse me, make sure that these are on the same delay as the ones over on the other side. So you have 7 repeaters on full delay, and then 1 repeater here on the top on 3 ticks of delay. And I was wrong about one thing. See this repeater? I told you to set it to 4. You need to set it to 3. Because Literally. Zone 4 will not work. If you don't believe me, try. Actually, don't try. Things will go all haywire. Don't try it. But it needs to be on 3, and the same for this one over here. I think I already said it. Yeah, it's on 3 now. It needs to be on 3. Literally, the difference between 3 ticks a delay and 4 ticks a delay. 4 ticks a delay. 3 ticks works. 4 ticks doesn't. 4 ticks will break the entire machine. Yeah, pretty crazy. Okay, so I put in the last piece of dust, so it's all connected up, and I put this little block here with a lever on it, so as soon as I unclick it like that, then the hopper timer goes. So when the hopper timer goes, all the items are getting sucked out of this one into that one, but because this one is powered, it's not putting them back in, so you see it's just collecting them. But when this one is empty of items, then this will unpower, which means this will be able to put its item back into there, which will turn this on and power this block and unpower that torch like it just did. So now this one is collecting the items because it's powered, and this one is pushing them into the other hopper. And as soon as this one is totally out, this comparator will turn off and that torch will turn on. So let's go over here. Okay. Probably like 15 items left, and then there it goes. Oh yes, this is my favorite part of the whole thing, just watching it go. I don't know about you, but I could just watch this for hours. It's kind of, I don't know, hypnotizing almost. But yeah, you can see the sweeper arm is totally lined up. That's those timing things I was talking about. And then as soon as it gets over here, you'll notice it'll activate, and then it will go back. Ooh, wait, I gotta go turn it off. Otherwise it'll just keep going back. Because that's the whole point of it, is to go back and forth, and if any mobs that spawn will get knocked into pits or whatever. Where are the pits, you ask? Well, that's the next step here. So, get my make death pit thing. Whoop. So what this does is it makes a 30 block drop, and it's a 2 wide pit here. Really important to make it 2 wide because the combination of a 2 wide pit and a 30 block drop will enable it to kill the whole sweeper deal, to kill zombies, skeletons, spiders, witches, and creepers. So and you don't have to worry about endermen because they just teleport away. And you make one on both sides right in front of the wall. So if we look over here, you'll see the sweepers backed up right against it, so it would have pushed the mobs in here, and then once they fall to their doom down here, and then their items drop. So now we need a way to collect the items. So let's put in a little hopper minecart deal. And all that is just a little track here. You just kind of want to stagger it a little bit like this. I should have made it clear some space, but oh well. So you want to have it staggered, like I say. So this is the end. That's the last one. And so then you want to put a block here and then a powered rail here, and then you have it go all the way around, and you have powered rails every 9 blocks, I think. Just a single powered rail, that's all you need. And then you have it come this way. Now for this part, this isn't tricky or complicated or anything. It's very simple. You just have chest, 2 hoppers going into it, and then you're going to want a powered rail. No, you want a powered rail on top of it like that, and then you want a comparator coming out like that. You want, oh, gotta clear some headroom here. Oh, I need a torch. Then you want a torch on top of it, and no, you don't. I thought that looked strange. You want red? No. Yes, you want a torch and redstone. No. Wait. Is it a torch and redstone? What? Oh, I always forget this. It must be like this. Yes. Okay. So what oh goodness. So what happens is when you have a hopper minecart that comes here, if any items get sucked into that hopper, then this will turn on and that will turn off and this will turn off, making this powered rail turn off. So then the hopper minecart will stay there until it unloads all of its stuff. And you need to put a block right here too, so that it will bounce off properly. And then you just need a hopper minecart. So now we go to the other one and do the same thing. And I'll do it again so that, because if that confused you, I'll set you straight. Oh, I always forget that the order that goes in. Every single time, it seems. So you make an identical thing over here. Same deal. Clear out space. And in survival, it'd probably be smart to light this area up. I'll probably do it off camera or something, but it's the same deal. Put a hopper going into this block, a chest, and then a hopper going into there. Powered rail on top of this hopper. You should put a block there too, just because. And put a comparator coming out of the hopper, a block, a torch, a block on top of the torch, and redstone dust. And as you can see, that's on. So now we just need to send a hopper minecart and just push it, and there it goes. Oh wait, how do I get out of here? It's a smart idea to repair those holes so that nothing accidentally falls inside, because then the hopper minecart won't pick it up. So that is almost the final step. The final step is to, for me, is to put a roof on it. You might have already put a roof on it in your thing, but I want to show you something, because you don't want any mobs spawning over here, right? Yeah, we already know that. We only want them spawning in there. So how do you light this up without making that lit up? Well, I figured out the exact distance. If you count 3 blocks away from this little opening, so 1, 2, 3, and then put a torch, then it will make sure that nothing's gonna spawn here, nothing's gonna spawn in here, you know, assuming you have a torch grid. So you just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you just do a torch grid all along the back here. And then you want to light up any areas that could cause mobs to spawn. So like where the hopper minecart just was, and that kind of deal. So I'll light this up and then I'll put the roof on it, and I think that'll be pretty much it. Okay, so once you get everywhere lit up, you know, like behind the walls and down in the pits, because you don't want anybody spawning in the pits, and then put some lights where those hoppers were. Then there's only one thing left. You want to put a repeater here, and then oh yeah, look at this. This is the command blocks for these things. That's just where I put them. Anyway, you put a repeater there, and then just take the line of redstone out wherever you need it to be, and connect a lever up to it. Right now we're gonna turn it on, and then next, what we're gonna do, put some redstone, put a block, put a torch on top of that, and put a torch next to this thing. Then take the redstone line like this, and put a torch up here, and then just bring this to, near the lever. So this lever is what turns it on and off, but when you turn it off, it's not going to be fully off until the flying machines go from wherever they were when you turned it off into their stations. So this tells us that yes, it's turned off, and yes, the flying machines are in their stations. So that means that we can log out, because you don't want to log out while it's still on. That'll mess it up, and I'll have a troubleshooting portion later just in case, so you know how to fix it, because if you log off when it's still going, then there will be some problems, and I'll show you how to fix those. But so this light says yes, you can log off, so we could save and quit to title, and this is the lever that turns it on and off. So now we can't save and quit to title, because we have to, the contraption isn't off and that kind of thing. So real quick before the timer hits, let's put the roof on. Boom. It's a little slow. Whoa. I heard some. Okay. Now when you're making it, you won't have this problem. But because I used a fill command, I have to kind of make sure that we're not. Okay. Not totally sure what's. Oh. Is that? Wait, what? Oh. That's not supposed to be on. Okay. I think that's everything. Oh, yeah, it's going. Okay, real quick. Slash game mode 3, and we can kind of watch it. Oh, yeah, look at him. Look at him go. See, so it pushes all of them. Oh, ready? Ooh. Mass destruction! Ah! Oh man. Oh, and you want to make sure that you're far enough away when you're so that mobs can spawn. And wherever you are when you're sitting AFK, that's where you want to hook up that the lever and the little light thingy. So here, let's go on to the other side, see if that works better. Get about 25 blocks away or so. Can you guys still see? It's kind of. I think we're too close, but that is how you make it. Game mode 1. So that's how you make the sweeper, and it will keep going back and forth as many times as you need it. You saw it at the beginning, so you know what I'm talking about. And when you're done, just turn this back on, and because the things are in their place and the and that switch is turned on, then this says yes, you can save and quit to title. So that's what we'll do. Okay, so the troubleshooting I promised. So what I did was I logged out while these things were going. And as you can see, they're all stopped now. So to troubleshoot, basically what you need to do is you have to update them again. Although in some cases, see like this, you have to actually replace the piston. So, and your best bet is going to be to, let's see, which side? I'm all turned around. Which side has the, oh, yeah, you want to do the side that has, you know, these things, the part that activates the AND gate. You want to do that last. So, you just, really, this is all you have to do. You just have to update them and update them in the right places. So, and the way you can tell which direction they're going is, see the regular piston? It will go in the direction the regular piston is pushing. So, you just kind of update the piston until, yeah. And then it's the same kind of deal. Update this so that it gets out of the way. And then you're going to want to... oh, this one's probably stuck too. Yeah. You're going to want to update this. And then you just kind of update them a couple of times until it gets going like that. And you'll probably want to get out of the area too so that the mobs can despawn, because otherwise it'll be a nightmare trying to figure this out. That's why I said it's very, 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 very important that you make sure that the thing is off and this little light is on before you exit the game. So this needs to be on. Really, really, really important. But that's gonna be it for today though. So see you guys next time, and hope you enjoy this AFK Mob Farm.